riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick a song or album, listen to it for an entire week straight, and come back here to answer that too important question, do we hate it? I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me as always, Shasta to my McNasty, co-host extraordinaire, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how are you today?
Oh, Garrett, it has been a cavalcade of bullshit this week. Jesus Christ.
Somehow I am comforted by your calamity. What's the deal? What's your cavalcade of bullshit?
Oh, so many calamities, Garrett. I am saddened, first of all, at the implosion of my mail-order books on vinyl service. I am angry. My latest two Tim-related ventures, the Only Tim website, our slogan, of course, is want it to be, and a clothing line that I called For Tims by Tims, aka Fitbit. Both were deemed unpatentable by this once great nation, thanks Biden. My head is just filled with pollen, possibly my entire body. And then I listened to a real stupid song all week.
Yeah, you did. The pollen is becoming an issue. You are more pollen than man. But that aside...
Attracting bees, Garrett.
You really are. It's an issue. That aside, Tim, when you're not attracting bees, what song have you been listening to for an entire week straight?
I have been listening to Hot Action Cop's 2003 song, Fever for the Flava, aka Fever for the Flavor of the Coochie. This was suggested by Ian Wiltshire upon my birthday a few years ago. Austin Counts, Rich, whose band apparently opened up for them and believes them to be extremely nice guys. Austin Counts again, and Sterling, aka the super sexy boogeyman Slayer. Yes.
Well, this has gone off the rails. Thanks everybody but that last guy. Tim, I'm curious, after an entire week with Hot Action Cop, Fever for the Flava, I mean, dare I ask it, do you hate this song?
Garrett, if you ask the question, do I hate this song? Yes. Yes, I do. Now, if you had have asked the slightly different but still related question, do I hate this music video? I would have told you that this is the greatest music video I have ever seen.
Okay,
but we'll get
perhaps you watched the wrong one yet again.
No, I'm pretty sure I watched the right one. This song played for the entire duration, which is how I know it's a music video now. Actually, no, I've been tricked by seeing songs live. Never mind. Garrett, do you hate this song?
Yes, I do.
Excellent.
I really don't care for this.
All right.
This is a very special combination of sounds and noises that really piss me off.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be more LMFAO, because I did. Okay, so I'll admit this. This is the first week I have ever done this. You sent me this.
Yep.
And I said, well, I'm not in a place where I can just play Fever for the Flava by Hot Action Cop, so I'm just going to Google the lyrics real quick, just to get a sense of what this is. And I saw it, and I was kind of excited. I thought this was going to be a fun party anthem, maybe even a party rock anthem, Garrett. This is nowhere near as fun as it thinks it is. This, and I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, is new metal.
Interesting. I might even go so far as to say this gives new metal a bad name.
Yeah, this is new metal by people that listen to too much Faith No More and Red Hot Chili Pepper. It doesn't matter. Garrett, have you heard this before?
Like once. Somebody showed me the music video. I think it was a mutual friend of ours named and I was just like, what even is this? But back then, Tim, I worked from this silly premise that I shouldn't put bad things in my face. And so I let it be. Sad to say, this week has been trying.
What about you? A cavalcade of bullshit.
You know what? Honestly, I'm about to hop on board the cavalcade because it really, once in a while, we do a song that just sort of pisses me off. This is definitely in that category.
Excellent.
Like, every time I got done, I was just like, what is this world coming to 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's your history. That's my history. Before we can talk about the song itself, and God knows we need to understand a little bit about the folks who made it. So Timmy, take us on a journey. Help me understand, who is Hot Action Cop and how did Fever for the Flava come to be?
Well, I'm absolutely going to tell you about that. But first, I'm of course going to tell you my history. I've seen King of the Hill and the best American Pie film, American Wedding. So I have heard this before. I have no memory of it, though. My brain blocked this the fuck out.
How was this on King of the Hill?
They go to some shitty bar and it's like the background music or something. Anyway, Garrett, nobody really gives a shit about these guys, so this history is going to be a bit short this week. Also, somewhat uneventful. This band was formed by Rob Werthener on vocals and guitar, Tim Flaherty on guitar and backing vocals, and I just want to be real clear, I'm going to stop us right here. Tim Flaherty, you're on thin ice, buddy. This is not the kind of thing you do and remain in good standing with the rest of us. This is the kind of thing you use your middle name for if you're going to pull this bullshit. Corey Knipp on drums and Louis Espaillat on bass guitar. Some of those people are going to change, doesn't really matter. I also have no information on any of these people as individuals because Wikipedia did not mention it and I did not go looking. But Rob is from Long Island. They formed this band in 2001 in Nashville. Now, the name is a reference to a joke Rob had with some friends who were not in the band in the 90s. Apparently, his ex-girlfriend started dating a Big Apple policeman who looked ridiculous and dressed like it was the 70s with like a feathered haircut kind of thing. Like, picture 1970s John Travolta looking amazing.
Sure.
But, you know, he's banging this guy's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. So they made fun of him by calling him a hot action cop. Still unclear what that means.
Maybe it's a Chips reference, like an Eric Estrada situation?
He was a hot action cop. They should have just named it after Chips.
I don't know why I help you. I always regret it.
Yeah. Anyway, Garrett, Rob then convinced the rest of these guys to name themselves Hot Action Cop in 2001, right before 9/11 made it slightly less cool to make fun of Big Apple cops, although that would later make a roaring comeback.
True.
It's cool again, is my point. They released an EP called Nutbag in 2002, featuring a cover that looks like the worst Flaming Lips or Smiley Cyrus featuring the Flaming Lips album cover you've ever seen. It's a lady licking a bag of peanuts. It's very clever stuff. These guys are not idiots.
I get it.
Yeah. In 2003, they released a self-titled album featuring the Song of the Week on Lava Records / Atlantic Records, probably heavy on the first part of that. They released a very censored version of this song and this album, featuring songs with entirely different lyrics. It was very much a Krusty suggesting the Red Hot Chili Peppers change "what I got, you gotta get and put it in ya" to "what I'd like is I'd like to hug and kiss ya" style. The second version of the song, with not the lyrics we heard, possibly was made for 2002's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 rated E for everyone, or possibly they just did it because they knew this thing was going to be a hit.
God damn it, I'm going to be so upset to learn this was a hit.
Yeah, the name of the song Fever for the Flava was taken from a 1980s Pringle ad. It's not interesting, Garrett. None of this is interesting. This is boring history. They toured with Why I Hate This Album alumnuses Evanescence and Trapped, and were on the 2003 Lollapalooza tour.
Boy, how does it feel to be the worst act on a touring bill that also has Trapped?
Yes. That also has tough. The undercard of Lollapalooza.
Yeah, but you're somehow at the bottom because you're Hot Action Cop.
Nothing happened until 2009 when they released a 6-song EP called 2009 EP. Nobody gave a shit about that. They tried to get a little bit of relevance in 2012 when they did a cover of Pink Floyd's Comfortably Numb.
Oh.
Yeah. In 2014, one of their former keyboardists, Daniel Fries, died, and they released an album called Listen Up. In 2015, they started doing something Wikipedia calls, I'm quoting here, a private festival called Lampapalooza, a legally distinct entity from Lollapalooza, in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, which is like a suburb of Milwaukee, and they headline this thing every year along with Public Enemy, Run DMC, and Sir Mix-a-Lot, among other people. Tim Flaherty has been releasing solo albums that no one listens to. He is also in a Ramones cover band on the side that, and this is editorializing here, does much better than any of the bands he writes music for.
That sounds right.
Yeah. These guys are allegedly working on a new album. We probably will never find out about that. This is a one-hit wonder that should have been a 0-hit wonder, La Face.
God, I guess I'll give you a Shia LaBeouf for that, but I would rather not. Good history?
It's the history they have, Garrett. It is a complete retelling of the history of Hot Action Cop.
Yeah, I don't like this band.
Yeah, absolutely not. So here's the thing. Well, you know what? Let's listen to this song. How about that?
Good call. Gino, cue it up. Here it is. Hot Action Cop, Fever for the Flava. Well, there's that.
Yeah, so it's, okay, musically. They say they were influenced by Red Hot Chili Peppers, Faith No More, the Eagles, Billy Joel, and Elvis Costello. I guess that is the combination. You throw all that into a blender and you get, I got the fever for the flavor of the coochie.
I suppose I could believe that. Like, if you took a nice steak dinner and put it into a blender, I wouldn't want to drink that milkshake.
But you would, because you need the calories.
That's neither here nor there. Regardless of my incredibly fast metabolism, you put all that stuff together, if it does in fact equal fever for the Flava, it's a big no thanks.
So you can hear that these guys were listening to like One Hot Minute Red Hot Chili Peppers B-sides, specifically the I Stretch You Out bit. But there's really the nu metal guitars, right? The super like tuned down, like the Korn guitar kind of things. Like I definitely hear Mike Patton in here. Less so the Billy Joel, the BJP man.
Yeah.
Not really the Elvis Costello. Maybe if they'd said Elvis Presley.
Yeah, to my ear, I called this like disproportionate rap rock. Like they might have been a little more into the rap than the rock.
Yeah, you say that, but then they jam out with the nu metal.
They do. And I've got comments about that when we get there. It's a truly distasteful song.
Yeah, it's really bad. It feels tongue-in-cheek, right? Like if you just read the lyrics, when I just read the lyrics, I was like, this is going to be fun. They're going to, it's going to be a silly little romp. But the musical style, like the whole thing just comes together and just makes me hate this. Like this wanted to be what LMFAO would become, but the nu metal, God.
It's like a more serious Bloodhound Gang, which it turns out that wasn't the direction to go.
No. The whole thing, it feels like an 11-year-old who just found out about internet pornography and wrote a song about how to address women given this new information that he has about them. And also
he's only learned about sex from his 17-year-old brother.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got bad news for you about how people learn about sex, Garrett.
Well, I would hope with the internet nowadays, there's a little more self-learning, but, or if you're like me, you just gotta figure it out. But yeah, like the way that they talk about women, sex, attraction, it all reeks of virginity.
Yes. Now, as you mentioned, you did have to figure this out on your own. I think it was rude of your father to give you deliberately misleading information during the talk.
Yeah, listen, if you don't want to have the talk, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't need to talk about like how there's teeth there. That's not helpful for a young boy's psyche.
No, he just filled my head with nonsense. I don't know if his goal was to try to keep me from having sex or just knowing him, it was all just a big goof.
I think it probably was.
Probably had himself a good long laugh with my mother. I just told him the craziest shit about how sex works. He is gonna look like a fool. And I did, to be clear.
But you would have anyway, because you...
Doubt it.
Well,
I'm a sexual creature, Tim.
Your face was all painted up, your eyes were closed, and that young lady's father came into that room and was like,
No. That is a gross mistelling of what happened that day. That's a beautiful memory that you have made disgusting and awful.
You can't remember it, or at least not who was doing the stuff, because that whiskered young lady...
No, you're adding details. Most people don't remember this episode. We're moving on. Tim, do you even have a sounds like here?
I mean, again, I think that it has the Faith No More. It has the Korn guitars. I don't have a specific sounds like for this song. I think Bloodhound Gang mixed with kind of a Korn.
I think the Biscuit is a good analogy.
It's worse than Limp Bizkit, though. Like Limp Bizkit, because Limp Bizkit at least had that Wes Borland fella who knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, much as I hate to say it, and I do think he looks like a complete jackass, but Wes Borland is very good at guitar.
Yes.
Sadly.
Yes.
For everyone. Let's see. What else need to be said before we get into this? It's rap rock. It's horrible. It's an entire song that just probably wouldn't even fly today.
No,
I don't know if you could release it.
You could. You just have to lean harder into the rap. People let rap get away with a lot of stuff, Garrett.
Yeah, I guess that's true. What else? Oh, let's talk about the cover. This made me giggle a little bit. So the cover is a sexy lady in a cop uniform that she's wearing like Daisy Dukes or, ass shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I want to say about that. The standard of what a hot ass is in 2024 is much higher than 2002.
Oh,
that ass would never make it to the cover of this album today.
I, Tim Richardson, would just like to say, ladies, your asses are fine. Don't listen to Garrett. Garrett, he has unrealistic standards for what asses should be. And I apologize to you for allowing him to broadcast his body shaming and his judgmental bullshit on this show that we share. I do not share Garrett's opinions. He is a bad man. He is sexist, definitely.
Wait, what?
My point is, these are Garrett's words. Garrett is the one, ladies, that hates your bottoms.
That's not even close to what I said. All I'm saying is the standards for the ass on the cover of this single wouldn't even have enough followers to be considered an influencer by today's standards.
Now, let me take this opportunity to say that Garrett Harvey's remarks do not represent both of us. He is body shaming. He is rude. Garrett, that ass has an owner who's most likely listening to the show right now. This was the best day of that ass's owner's life.
Well, let me just say to that person, you got away with one.
No, come on. I'm going to have to keep giving these goddamn disclaimers. Let's move on, Garrett.
Well, as long as you just keep trying to throw me under the bus, I'm going to make it worse. Might as well really get squished. Anyway, all I'm saying, Tim, is that the standards have changed. I think it's a lovely ass, personally. But
I don't think you do.
Oh, well, you don't. Yes. Do I have an incredibly high standard? Yes. But as somebody who does live with me, you can attest, I hold myself to a very similar standard.
Yes. You have a great ass.
There it is. If we could have just said that 3 minutes ago, we'd have been done.
Let's get into these lyrics, you son of a bitch.
All right. The song opens with, I don't even want to read this.
I think you should be the designated reader of all these lyrics.
I hate you. I don't want that. It opens with, do you think that I can get some chicky chicky? Maybe get a little... Maybe get a little finger sticky sticky.
Let me stop you right there. No to all of that.
No to all of it.
That? Gross, man. Come on.
Yeah, what are you, 12? You my electric Kool-Aid lip balm, Flava. I gotta do ya until the next song saves ya. I don't know what that part means. He seems to be placing a time limit on how long he either would like to bang or how long he will be wanting to bang. And if the woman can make it through the song, she will not have to bang him. Or they have to get done before the song ends. I don't know which.
It's the second one. I think that he's like, listen, this is the way, it's like musical chairs, right? Like, I'm going to be doing this until the song ends, and then it's a reverse musical chairs. That's what it is.
That sounds terrifying.
But sexual.
I'm going to be on you until this song ends. Cool.
He gotta.
Okay, so let's really get into it. Calling women chicks. Honestly, chicky. They've managed to somehow make it worse. The sticky fingers. I hate this.
I don't know if the fingers are sticky. I think he's sticking his fingers places. I think that's what he's saying.
I think the implication is they'll become sticky.
Oh dear.
Right. And song continues. It gets worse, folks. Strap in. Can I get a little zip, looky? Maybe just a little nookie. Hey, what you say? It doesn't matter anyway, because you won't do another, because you're getting with me.
Yeah, at some point it became this. I'm not really hitting on you. I'm just kind of fucking around. This is already a done deal. I paid the guy.
The door is locked. This is happening. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Also, just like, can I get a little zip, looky?
Yeah, so he's going down the line and he's like, hey, I might want to be inside of you later. Well, let me kind of see what's going on with you.
I'll see. Now, I took it the other way, that he like started with, hey, you want to bang? No. Hey, you want to... Can I finger you? No. Mm-hmm. Can I see your vagina? He's just slowly backing away from that initial proposition.
Interesting.
And then he declares, as you mentioned, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's already over.
Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The song somehow continues. She got the power of the hoochie. I got the fever of the flavor of the coochie. And did I mention, hey, pay attention. Gonna take that booty to the nudie dimension. I got the green glow under my car and the boom boom system you can hear real far.
I think this is my least. I hate them more for this than anything else. Actually, you know, it was funny. I heard somebody driving around Harlem blasting that Drake song that's about how he's definitely not a pedophile and how he's way too famous to be into children. It's pretty hilarious. But there's a pretty tight correlation between the volume and music quality. Anytime you hear somebody this, I mean, the boys in the lab have done the statistics. And for those of you that care, there's a Pearson correlation coefficient of negative 0.83. And I know Pearson was a piece of shit eugenicist, whatever. The point being, fuck these guys. If I can hear your music and I am not in your car, I will throw a brick at your car.
He'll do it, folks. I've seen it. Carry
a backpack full of bricks at all times. Well, except when the police are anywhere in my line of sight, then I ditch it behind a behind a bush because they are looking for the brick man.
Yeah, they are looking for the brick tosser. Now, Tim, I do have to ask, I got the fever for the flavor of the coochie. Is this just a flavor thing? Meaning, could I sell this man a coochie cola?
Yes, I think you could.
I was hoping you'd say no.
I feel like now that you have broached the subject, he is going to insist on that.
Gross.
Yeah.
And now may I also ask, best pickup line in the world or worst pickup line gonna take that booty to the nudie dimension?
It's a good general pickup line. I'm gonna take that booty to the nudie dimension. You know what? It works.
It works in isolation.
Oh, sure. If there wasn't a threat of this is happening.
Yeah, it's
hard
I would
to,
like
hard to
overlook
have
that part.
a coochie cola.
Yeah,
it's worse when I say it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it really is. I want to mention for any of our younger listeners who maybe are getting their first car or they have maybe still have their first car and they're wondering like, oh, what should I do to it to impress the ladies? The only people that find a green glow underneath your car to be cool are other car nerds, which, spoiler alert, are 99% dudes.
Yes.
So you could spend your money on better things.
Yeah. One of my roommates, my freshman year in college, he had a Ford F-150 and he was super excited because he got it all like souped up. And by souped up, what he meant is he had the door handles removed and like smoothed out. So there are no door handles on his car. And like he had to have like a remote to open. I don't know what happened if that remote, if he lost that or the battery died or something. But like he was so excited. He brought us that. He was one of these people, they weren't green, but they were purple runners under the car. And so he brought us out and he was so proud of this. And it was just like, he turned on the lights and was like, you notice anything about the doors? And we're just like, Tim, give me the brick backpack. We're smashing this thing.
Tim, I'm going to need a brick or two. God, listeners, write in hatepodmail@gmail.com. Are ground effects still a thing? Like, are there's still people putting neon in their car?
Yeah, it was a dark time. 2003 was weird and
it was a dark time. Really, it's like 01 through like 04 that shit was going on. Remember spinners?
Yeah.
There's gotta be a landfill in fucking China somewhere just filled with spinners made of titanium and all sorts of expensive metals.
No, I think they shot them into the sun.
They had to have fucked people's cars up. There is a reason that the wheels don't spin when you're stationary. Oh my God. Did you ever see the spinner hubcaps? Those were incredible.
I'm not sure that I understand the difference.
Well, one's a wheel.
Right.
And one's a hubcap.
So it's essentially like something you could just stick onto your tire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's like
somehow dumber.
It's the temporary tattoo of spinners. Like you're not sure if this tattoo is going to look good, so yeah. Oh.
Or you have a 93 a 93 Civic with original rims. You're just like, I'm not going to spend $2,000, but I'll spend $200.
Shouldn't do either. So, the chorus goes, oh, hey, oh, pretty shy, whoop, whoop. Oh, hey, oh, pretty fly, whoop, whoop. What do I have to say to get inside? girl. What do I have to say?
Did you get a whoop count?
No, I didn't.
Came in at 44 whoops.
Jesus. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
this
too
is are they trying to dog whistle juggalos? Like,
I'm probably trying to coattail it.
and that makes sense. This was something they were just like, if we say whoop enough, we're just going to get invited to one of those sticky fests, which I mean, guess
we're
they're
gross
into.
and trashy. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. The first part of this chorus is the only semi-catchy part of this, but
Oh, right.
but then they say, what do I have to do to get inside, girl? And it feels like too much for even a mid-90s Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, Anthony Kiedis and Flea in like 95 were just like, no, we're far too classy to say that.
I mean, we're both strung out on H and having relationships with underage women, but we have boundaries.
Right. I don't own shirts, and I'm a millionaire.
God, he still doesn't. I saw an interview with Anthony Kiedis last week where he was pretty vehement that his son never read his autobiography.
That makes sense. I wouldn't want that either.
Yeah.
I love that his autobiography, it starts off with that little like fake out where there's like a prologue and he's getting shot up essentially, but it's in his new life where it's like vitamins and shit. But like the way he phrases it, it's as if he's doing heroin. And then there's
but
like
it's a B12 complex.
So weird.
It's a nice little fake. Why is she shy, Tim? Is she scared? She's scared, right?
She's scared, and we will get into that more later. She is afraid because he has come and just announced his intentions to get inside.
God, could you imagine saying that to a woman?
I feel like he's some sort of sexual vampire, right? He's just trying to trick her into letting him inside. But as soon as he does, he's got full control of this situation.
He's going to take full advantage of being inside.
I just need you to say the words. Just say the words. Say the fucking words.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking is Harvey Keitel. Say the freaking words. You're going to be okay. God, boy, I really want to be gentle with my language here. Okay, there are endless euphemisms for sex, right? We can say that.
Yes.
I tend to believe, and listeners, feel free to write in and shout me down. You always do. hatepodmail@gmail.com. All of them, universally to my mind, share one basic tenet. Let us not fixate on the fact that one person is physically inside the other. Because, despite that being the very root of the entire act, putting it in those words weirds us all the fuck out.
Well, it weirds most of us out. It arouses a good portion.
I think just the one. Listeners, write in. Maybe I'm way off base. Maybe I'm a prude. Wouldn't that be weird? Can't be true.
No, it's not. It might be in your language, but not in your actions.
Are you talking about how much you can't wait to be inside each other? Let me know.
There are some people.
Well, sure. There's always some people, Tim. Some people for everything. There's a new Garfield movie this weekend. Some people saw it. I don't know who any of these people are, but they're out there.
Oh.
Can I get a little yum yum, kitty kitty?
Okay,
just a little
gross. Go ahead.
Just a little something something itty bitty.
Give me anything.
You want
anything? Like just I will take a nipple at this point.
I will take the top of a breast. Or the bottom. Why is the bottom of the breast sexier? It is, though.
Oh, definitely.
Something about that. Fascinating. Anyway, listeners, write in. Would the neck of the penis or the tip of the head be more sexy to you?
Neck.
Not for you. I was not asking you. That was abundantly clear.
Oh. Well, I'm just going to let you know what the consensus is going to be. The neck is the sexiest part of the penis. But like upper neck.
Folks,
like almost shoulder.
Hatepod.com to get our all-new line of male cleavage pants. It's a deep V to really show off that root.
Oh.
Show all of the ladies your dick root. We need a name. Oh, maybe it's just called Roots Pants. Show off that dick root. I can tell you're uncomfortable with the phrase dick root.
I'm not a fan. We could just call them visible cock pants.
That's a little on the nose. Maybe that's the name. On the nose pants. What about stocks?
Stocks is great. Done.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's see. Where were we in this gross thing? Oh, the kitty part. There's just something off about how this person's shy and they're being called a kitty. Like I don't. I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into there's another weird tell in the next pre-chorus or verse or whatever. Yeah. Do you want to get triple X groovy? Gimme some of that kind of movie. And let me spin you like a record. Wiki wiki. Let me get you butt naked. Licky licky. Here we go, yo. Here's the scenario. Gonna strip you down like a car in the barrio. Seems a little racist at the end there.
Or at least classist.
Yeah, definitely that. These are classy. Well, they're not classy guys, but they're wealthy guys.
Classless. Oh, yeah. Grew up with some privilege. Can I just go back for a brief moment? Let me spin you like a record. Let me get you butt naked. Spin you like a record. Listeners, write in hatepodmail@gmail.com. How many of you are spinning? Am I doing it wrong, Tim? Am I just way off on sex? There's not a lot of spinning.
No, there's not a lot, but there's also not none. You might be bad at sex.
Maybe I'm bad. I don't think so, though. The forms I have people fill out have come back resoundingly positive.
Yeah, I know. But it's one of those things. The problem is it's all fives, right? So every one of the questions you ask, you answer like positively for every question. What you have to do is throw in about 3/4 of the way down, throw in a question where they would have to answer on the exact opposite side of the scale so you know that they're even reading it. I think they're just...
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, exactly, right? You say, was I good? Did I satisfy your needs? Would you do this again? Did you hate everything about it?
Would you recommend to a friend?
Exactly. But yeah, you have to throw a negative one in there so you're making sure that they're not just checking all fives in their haste to leave.
It's a good point. Did you hear Tim in the other room?
No one ever hears Tim in the other room.
Oh, God.
Gross, dude. Come on.
Because I'm in the same room. No. You are not. Anyway, song continues. You got the power of the hoochie. I got the fever for the flavor of the coochie. I'm your lovey-dovey bedtime player. Call me your super sexy boogeyman slayer. I got the green glow under my car. I got the boom boom system you can hear real far.
Right. The girl whom he is trying to woo remains afraid of a closet boogeyman, or bogeyman if you're Stephen King.
Yeah, so this is the crux of the whole thing, unfortunately. Most women, maybe not all, because there's people out there doing all sorts of weird stuff, but most women that I've met are not scared of the boogeyman.
She's shy. He says, yum yum. There's a lot of kitty kitty, something something, itty bitty. Boogeyman talk. It's not.
There's a trend.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure we need to say it, folks. You're all saying it in your minds right now, and let me just say, gross.
Done.
FBI, maybe go take a look at Hot Action Cop.
These guys have to be dead by now, right?
No.
No, they're recording a new album.
Listen, 50-50. Dead, recording a new album.
Do you think that I can get some chicky? Maybe get a little finger sticky? You want to suck it like a bong hit? Wacky. You gotta be my first lady, Jackie. This is very two big bags of sand territory here, right? You want to suck it like a bong hit. So okay, here's the real question. Is he unsure what this is supposed to be like, or is she very unsure, right? Like,
I think it's him.
Okay.
I think it's him because what he's describing leads to somebody aspirating on seminal fluid, which that's an awkward ER visit. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Your face was amazing. I'm sorry for those words. I'm just saying, if you suck it like a bong, that's what's going to happen. Let's see. You got a second chorus and some mommy play. Got a fever for the flavor. Yo, hey, ma. Yo, hey, ma. Yo, hey, mama. Hoochie. What?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. He says it all again. I don't know if we've talked about this. Mommy play v daddy play. Somehow daddy play is like 5% more acceptable.
Oh, it's way more acceptable, Garrett. You're, mama play. Ugh.
Yeah, listeners, write in. hatepodmail@gmail.com. Is there mama play out there?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, if so, stop it.
If so, don't write in. I only want to hear negatives to that.
Let's see here. You didn't mention the 14 whoops that constitute the post-chorus. There's a vaguely audio slave-like interlude with some phaser blasts in the background.
I actually think Tom Morello played the guitar part on that.
Oh, really?
No, God, no. What is wrong with you?
Nothing would surprise me at this point.
I would be very surprised if Tom Morello was playing guitar on this song.
Oh, on this? Okay, never mind. I misunderstood what you said. That makes more sense. Okay. Now I understand. Let's see. 14 more whoops with a go and an outro that consists entirely of
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
We've done it.
Yeah.
Now, the song's gross.
Garrett, for as fun as this song is not, not. The video is that fun. I genuinely love this unhinged nonsense.
It is unhinged. That's the only correct word. It is truly confusing what is going on in here. Let's get into it. So we open in a bodega. A guy standing at the checkout counter gives a sexy lady a look, and then as he does, we journey into this sexy woman's head to see her brain.
Okay, but so here's the camera zooms through a hole in her forehead into her skull. We don't go through an eye or an ear. They chose a pore in her forehead.
Yes.
That's not how that works.
That is not. Wait, I don't know what your sentence means. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
If I was going to get in somebody's head, it wouldn't be through some sort of like sweat gland.
I see. Anyway, that is not what we need to focus on. What we need to focus on is once they have zoomed into this woman's brain, we're getting the brain view. The brain has a mouth, eyes, and tiny Otts glasses, and it's singing this song.
It's hilarious. I think it also has a little bit of facial hair.
Disgusting goatee, of course.
Yes. Now, it's weird because her brain is singing this to her, right?
Oh, you know what? I never even tried to piece together like the mechanics of it. I was just so taken aback by what was happening.
I cannot stress this enough. A good portion of this video takes place inside of this woman and other people's bodies as their various organs sing.
Yes. Okay, so she's got a fever for the Flava.
Absolutely, yes. And so she then looks around and begins to notice how phallic everything is, right?
Everything.
It's pretty sexy. There's some bread, there's some cucumbers, the sexiest of foods. But then, Garrett, we cut to her fucking intestines. And there are terrifying faces. I think the one that's singing is supposed to be her liver, although it might be on the wrong side. They're all singing, and maybe it's her spleen. Maybe that's what it is. They're all singing to her, and she begins to like writhe around a bit.
Yes, but what's real important is the organs are all singing, and they have faces.
They have faces and glasses and facial hair. But again, the intestines are singing. The intestines are writhing. She is writhing. And then it cuts to her writhing in the aisle here. And it seems like she's about to have some pretty severe explosive diarrhea right in that aisle.
Yeah. At this point, she's removed a shawl that she was previously wearing, revealing that it is, in fact, the early aughts. So she's got those low-rise jeans and a tube top, and she is about to come.
Yes, she is. And that's when her heart starts singing, Garrett, which is weirdly the worst job they did rendering one of these organs, but it's still pretty hot.
It's not.
All the sody pops around her explode and drench her, again, presumably for the amusement of this random dirtbag who was going to buy cigarettes and then infected her somehow.
Yes.
And then
go ahead.
Oh, and then Garrett, possibly the worst one, because she sticks her stupid pierced tongue out, and there's a man's face on her tongue.
Yeah, she's now covered in sticky soda. We get a glimpse of that tongue, and of course it's still got the lead singer's face on it, who I'm pretty sure is a bass player, just based on the facial hair and tiny glasses.
Garrett, they superimposed one of the band members' faces onto her tongue. And because that's the thing, the next thing that happens is she makes out with this guy on the counter.
Yes.
And presumably that man in her tongue is just biting the shit out of this guy. That's how this disease gets passed on, you see.
Well, I don't know if he's biting.
He's biting. Garrett, let me ask you something. If you were stuck, if your life was confined to a tongue of a pretty lady, and that pretty lady was making out with a bunch of dudes.
Am I me or am I a tongue?
You're you is as a tongue.
I would be biting.
A witch has cursed you to become a pretty lady's tongue.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, I'd be biting the shit out of anything that came into that mouth.
Yeah.
But I assumed it was just I guess you're probably right.
It's not a metaphor, Garrett.
I guess that was wishful thinking.
Yes. Now, okay, so she passes this, we'll call it something silly.
The fever.
Toxoplasmosis, yes, onto him. And his intestines are then filled with these horrible parasites. And his intestines, or maybe omentum or something, begin singing as well. and he leaves and he goes to find a car getting towed. The car is dancing.
It's humping the flatbed.
Sure, yes. And then he notices how sexy filling a car with gas is, right?
Dude, this part made me uncomfortable.
Because of the sexual assault that happens.
That is what happens.
Yeah, he goes over and just grabs this girl that is filling her car up with gas and just sexually assaults her right there on the hood. And the video pans to her face. She is scared. She is not into it at all.
She's exactly how any person on the planet would be in 2002 if you were pumping gas and this asshole walked up to you and started making out with you on the hood of your car.
Right, but because this is a zombie film, she then gets the same disease and wanders off in a daze, just leaving her car there, which is how you can tell she's not okay. And then goes off to try and arouse some of those nighttime construction workers you see all the time.
Yeah, she starts pole dancing for a group of construction workers that are jackhammering seemingly nothing in particular until they finally rupture a water line, which is apparently what they were trying to do.
And they're coming, Garrett. It's that is a metaphor.
That is a metaphor. I see. Okay. Now that is comedy.
Yeah, no, because I really do believe there is a deadly microbe, Garrett. The video is about them passing on some sort of hypersexual form of a parasite.
It's a coochie flavor fever.
It feels like that mediocre at best Stephen King book Cell. You familiar with Cell?
Yeah, you know what's even more mediocre than Cell is the movie Cell, based on the mediocre book.
So, Garrett, her sweat becomes befaced as well.
Oh, yeah.
So this disease can be passed on by any fluid. It's sort of a, well, I don't want to get too dark, but this is a sexually transmitted disease that you lose your inhibitions and just start banging people, I guess.
Yep, it's like a zombie apocalypse, only with intercourse.
Yeah, I assume the zombie apocalypse would have intercourse too.
What?
Listen, I'm not into it. I'm just saying. They're still...
You think
they still have needs.
No, they don't.
I think they do. They have a lot of needs.
They just have the one need.
Well, that's the one you know about.
That's all they ever talk about.
Well, that's all they... No, okay. Think about, let's say you're a deer, right? You're running in the woods, right?
I'm a deer.
You see people, and you're like, all these fucking people ever think about is murder and eating.
Yes.
That's because that's your perspective.
I see.
The zombies
so
aren't attracted to you. They're attracted to other zombies.
So you think that zombies are banging and potentially having relationships with each other in between eating the normies.
Right, just as you bang and have relationships in between eating your deer meat.
I did have deer meat last weekend.
Yeah, I know.
It's tasty.
It's very good. It's very healthy. Very lean. Anyway,
very lean.
Then the band just plays in the parking lot as people fuck in cars. And this, I don't understand why you would abandon this. I mean, I guess you're showing that this is a widespread disease at this point, but just stick with this. You don't need to show the band playing.
Yeah, it was really odd. Suddenly they're like surrounded by cars and they're playing in the middle of a parking lot outside of a liquor store, which is confusing.
Yeah.
But you see ankles hanging out of all of the windows of the cars, implying that these are in fact people that are banging. People appear to be stopped on the road in their cars all banging, so it's a global pandemic.
It is, yes. And then the band is lit up on the side of buildings.
They become Jamie Foxx from Spider-Man 2.
Yes, they do. And then in some very startling 9/11 imagery, a couple banging on a bed just begins flying through buildings.
Yes.
It's not hot.
It's the hottest part of the album because it doesn't feature a anthropomorphized small colon.
That's true. That's true.
As the bed suddenly lands in the front yard of somebody's house, we see that it's the couple from the start of the music video and that they are having the sex. Now, Tim, is this some sort of metaphor? Have they been banging the whole time? What's going on here?
I assume, well, no, I have no idea.
I was like, holy shit, he's got a perspective.
No.
Because I don't.
No, not really. I will point out, though, that there's a lot of clever signs. Did you notice all the clever signs?
No.
No, well, the street address is 690 Seaman Drive. Pretty clever. The liquor store is called Beaver Liquor. There's a sign that says pork, the one you love, as some sort of advertisement. There's an advertisement that says nobody beats our meats. There's an In-N-Out Services, that's the gas station.
Right.
There's a license plate where the sexual assault happens. Initially, that car has the license plate B&D HROVR, bend her over. And then after the sexual assault, the license plate says rock hard.
I hate that you have educated us about this. Oh my
rewound
God.
and paused.
So much data collection. I want to, FBI, I know you're listening. You need to track down everybody involved with this music video and get a tap on those phones.
Yes,
because
do that instead of the brick manhunt.
assume he is no longer a threat. But these people are.
Yes.
That is, it just, again, it reeks of like teenage virgins. Like just, get it, bend her over. Yeah, I get it. It's a sentence.
I'm going to put my cigarette out in your eye.
Yeah, that's the only logical solution.
Garrett, in 2003, that might have been one of our solutions to these idiots.
Yeah, we didn't have the best people skills.
Yes, and constantly smoke.
Always. Never not. All right, I think that pretty much brings us to the end of the music video. Tim, how did this thing do?
Not great. This hit number 38 and 39 on the US alternative and US mainstream rock charts, respectively. Number 13 in Australia, number 48 on the E3 Austria Top 40, number 56 on the official German charts, number 42 in Scotland, number 41 in the UK. Now, I blasted it from speakers outside of a warehouse in the Dumbo district, at which I think the Dutch are hiding out, but they did not emerge, so I assume they did not enjoy it.
I am not surprised to hear that. What did people think of it?
Well, there are 21 total ratings on Amazon, 4.3 out of 5 stars on average, 69% 5-star, 7% 1-star. Meh, they're not that great. So I went to YouTube, Garrett.
Oh boy.
Sean O'Tinderson, 6165, 2 months ago, said 21 years later and this is still unhinged as fuck.
I tend to kind of agree with Sean O'Tinderson.
Yes, Pop000690 presumably named himself after this music video 4 months ago, and this is edited, so keep in mind he came back to make it this. So I remembered this music video when I was a kid. I thought it was like a Mandela effect thing, but now seeing this upload, Jesus, this is a blast from the past for sure.
It is. Now, I'm glad you reminded me. What I find most confusing about the fact that the address in the music video is 690 Seaman Way or whatever the fuck it was, is that none of it's real. So just make it 69.
Well, see, that would ring false because blocks, it's the like 900 block or the, 6700 block. There's no 69, that doesn't make sense.
There is, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
my grandfather grew up on 19 Electric Avenue. That's it.
Well, that was
That's
his
the whole
address. This is, okay.
Oh, is this not an address?
No. It's like on, how street signs, they have like, this side is like the 800 block, this is the 900 block. It's one of those.
Then why not just go 6969?
Well, Garrett, I can't answer that.
Sure. No, it's a hypothetical. I guess we'll put out feelers to Hot Action Cop, but again, 50% chance they're all dead.
50% chance they're in jail. TSP McFarlane, 1 year ago, great memories of watching this video on repeat when I was, checks notes, 12 years old, after school on Kerrang. Guy was jerking off.
Yeah.
Jerking off to men's tongues being bitten by men who live in ladies' mouths.
This is how you make a Bundy. Just don't mix these things. You're going to create weird sexual connections to people.
Yes.
It's like a father telling his kid all the wrong ways to have sex as a goof.
Well done,
mean.
Fred. Canaldo Fubs, 1 year ago. And this one I translated. I think it's from Croatian. I'm not sure. The stuff is different. Ha 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 ha.
Normally I would have hated that review, but your delivery really sold it.
Yes. John M84. This music clip is freaky and gross. Great song, though.
I think that guy's a time traveler. Nobody speaks in those terms about what this is.
Take It Lightly 6, 2 months ago. I don't understand much of what they're saying. My English has improved a lot since the years I heard it the first time on Need for Speed.
Could you imagine somebody who doesn't speak English at all but plays a shit ton of Need for Speed, like knowing this song word for word but not having a fucking clue that they're saying some of the grossest shit known to man?
I like to believe he learned English exclusively from this song.
How's it going, chicky chicky?
Yes, exactly. I want to be in you.
Okay. Yikes. Interesting.
One more, Garrett. This is Hyde F 1793, 7 years ago. First heard this song in Iraq, 2003, convoy to Abu Ghraib. I was the driver and my gunner was playing this loud. Awesome moment.
Oh no! Only thing I'd be thinking in that moment is, please don't let me die listening to Hot Action Cop.
Garrett, do you remember what they did at Abu Ghraib? I mean, of course you do. Of course you do.
Of course I do.
You saw that firsthand. My point, though, is imagine the things they were doing there might have been influenced in part by listening to this song on that convoy on the way there.
Oh, maybe. I was going to say, imagine the things we could have learned from our intelligence community had we just played this on repeat.
Well, I'm just saying, listen, there's a guy standing on an ammo box in some sort of weird executioner's hood, and he's got electrodes connected to each one of his fingers, and I think they did that to please Hot Action Cop.
I mean, they were nude at the time, so probably.
Yes.
Good Lord. All right. That brings us to who is this for? Tim, who is this for?
This is for 12-year-old boys who think it's sexy, but then are going to have nightmares.
Yeah. God, yeah. Okay, that brings us to final thoughts. We've been all the way through it. Any revelations here, Timmy?
No. This song's gross and weird.
Remains gross and weird. Off-putting, even. I will say this.
Kind of hot. The man on the tongue.
What?
We're kind of into that, right?
No, we are not. Quick question. Quick aside. Let's pretend for a moment that the lady, just as you said, she's got the man tongue. But let's imagine for a moment the man has a lady tongue. You want to see those tongues kiss?
Sorry. I thought you meant the man on the tongue had a lady tongue who then had a man. I thought you were saying
all the way down.
Yeah. Well, so no. I assume that what would happen is if both had people in their tongues, they would just extend their tongues and then the tongue people would kiss. Like sort of like on Aliens. Like when Alien kisses, they extend that inner mouth and those inner mouths make out.
It's hot. The most intimate way they It's the highest form of respect a xenomorph can pay you. Oh, Jesus. This is off the rails. Folks, I just apologize up, down, left, right, and center for this whole episode.
This is Garrett's fault. This was Garrett's pick.
I think I might have found Jesus this week.
Ooh, now we have two things in common.
Oh, wait, what's the other? We've both seen this.
Don't worry about it. You'll know when it's time to know.
I hate surprises. Tim, do you hate this song?
Yes, I do. I do still find the music video crazy enough to be enjoyable. But,
yes.
The song sucks. Song sucks, Garrett. What about you? Do you like this sucky song, or do you also hate it?
No. I also hate it. But listeners, if you've never seen the music video, take 4 minutes out of your day and prepare for a head scratcher.
Yeah, prepare to have your sexual interests challenged.
Yeah. We dare you to get aroused.
We dare you not to.
Yeah, well, that part's easier. Alrighty, that brings us to listener mail. Tim, you want to go first or you want me to?
Oh, I definitely should go first.
Okay.
This is from Eric the Prophet. Release the hostages, Tim. Hey G-Man and T-Bone, Eric Cowboy Timlin again. You may recognize me from the email that I sent a little while ago that referenced the Three Tims theory, or TTT, as it is called on the forums. You may also remember me from court last week. I was juror number 7. Not guilty all the way. Sorry for what happened after they found out that I listened to your podcast. Oopsies. I think I really crossed a line because I didn't have earbuds and insisted on listening during the trial. The Leonard Skinner episode had just come out and I didn't want to wait till the trial ended. Also, for Tim specifically, I just wanted to say that I left what you asked at the place that you asked, and to please release my pet frog, Snop Froggy Frog. He has tummy problems and needs a very specific diet. Also, while releasing him, do not touch him. It is bad to touch him. I'm sure the interns have figured out why. The Three Tims theory will never be spoken of again. Also, on your podcast, you implied that my middle name was not Cowboy, and that was, in fact, a nickname. I just want to clear the record. Middle name is Cowboy. Middle name is Cowboy. My nicknames are The Man Beast, The Unkillable Boy, and Cool Eric. Praise be, Eric. P.S. I really enjoyed the Rebel Moon episodes. It seems you guys really know and are really passionate about movies. I think more movie episodes could be cool, and I give you my blessing. Well, Eric, I'm not going to address any of that other stuff. I will just say you're in the minority on that movie thing.
Yeah, people really didn't care for that. Cool Eric is a great nickname.
Yeah. So is The Unkillable Boy. But the problem there is so many people are going to try and kill you. They want to prove that wrong.
Yeah, you put a challenge out there like that, someone's going to try to do it. And if it's accurate, more power to you.
Yes.
But I've yet to find a true immortal.
Yes, Garrett has tested the unkillability of up to 36 people so far, and has found 0 of them to be unkillable.
I will neither confirm nor deny anything you just said. No, I should definitely actively deny it. I don't know why I said that first thing.
Garrett, do you have any emails?
Of course. I got emails coming out of my ears. I'll just read one. My email's from Steve. Steve writes, Dear Galatians and Timothy, I recently made a truly divine discovery that may help to keep you both on the path of righteousness and to help convert most, if not all, of your listeners and viewers to the way of the one true God. Interesting.
I'm in. I'm so in.
Of course you are. That is, of course, the heavenly musical subgenre known as Christian ska.
I'm even more in.
Ew. Yikes. I would particularly recommend the band The Insiders with a Y in the middle and a Z at the end, Tim. The Insiders. God, maybe we should change what album we're doing next.
You want to do this next? Let's do the Insiders next.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do the Insiders.
Gino, hey Gino, throw the balls all on the floor. We're not going to do that this week.
But why would you throw them on the floor? Why would you do that?
Empty out the hopper, Gino. Garrett, if the hopper is full, we have to abide by what the hopper says.
That's fair. That's fair. Arthur, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to need you to pick up these balls.
Yeah, definitely.
One at a time. No using your shirt as a basket. If I wanted you to have a basket, I'd have given you a goddamn... What is his deal, Tim? What is his deal? Does he just
He's
try to get slapped?
Is his deal.
God damn it. Anyway, sorry folks. Back to the email. They have albums of original content, but they also have albums, Scalaluja and Scalaluja 2, that are traditional hymnal type praise songs that have been lovingly transcribed into ska format. It'll have you skanking for Jesus in no time.
Okay, I'm just going to be clear. We're going to say we're going to do this, but we're going to do a little bit of research and we might veto it before the actual next episode comes out. I'm not committing to this anymore.
Yeah, maybe we should wait a couple weeks till we've done our homework. Anyway.
No, let's say we're going to do it.
Okay, sure, I'll say anything. Let's see, Skanking for Jesus. He continues. On a different note, have you guys considered jumping back into the world of J-Devil? Because he did make a solo album in 2018 called Black Labyrinth. I assume it was made to prove to the youths that he still, in fact, is a relevant teen icon. I did quite enjoy the recent departure into the world of film. Interesting. As always, I have suggestions. I'm pretty sure you are bound by Juggalo law to watch the movie Big Money Hustlers for the celebration of Christmas. We ought to do that.
Yes.
I have to heartily recommend the movie Strangeland. It features Dee Snider as a body mod obsessed guy who murders people via S&M and body piercings. And since it was made in 1998, the soundtrack is a who's who of nuisance metal. Interesting. I think I've seen this movie. It's bad.
Sounds good, though.
Also, the movie In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale should be covered. It has an all-star Hollywood cast, but it is to The Lord of the Rings what Rebel Moon is to Star Wars. Wow. Except that the visual effects are rubbish instead of being all fancy Zack Snyder effects. Interesting recommendations. I've never heard The Name of the King, The Dungeon Siege Tale. Unless that's that Tom Hanks movie, because he was in a movie that was called like something dragon. Maybe it was
How to Train Your Dragon.
No. It might have been Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. Either way. Let's see. He continues. So I would recommend you take all of these suggestions and pray on them. You may find that the Lord may just call you to review one, some, all, or none of these things. And if you need a palate cleanser from all this awfulness, I would say take a few minutes out of your day to listen to the very funny British rap song Semi on the Dance Floor by Doc Brown. I have not done that. Have a blessed day, Steve. God, that's a good email, Steve. All right, so in theory, we're going to do this, what was it called? The Insiders?
No,
we're not
stop
do the
doing
hymnal
Insiders.
ones.
Wait, is it? Oh, yes,
Huh?
It is the Insiders. Never mind. I'm stuck up on inside people. It doesn't matter.
I see. Thanks for bringing us back to that fun conversation. That brings us to music news of the weird. Tim, would you like to go first or would you like me to?
Well, Garrett, as the loser of the mailbag challenge, I think I deserve to go first so I can make it up.
I like everything you're saying. Proceed.
Music news of the weird.
In T. Hanks news, Garrett, Thomas Wayne Hanks finally has a use for that previously unused son, Chet, aka Chester Marlon Hanks.
I love this. This is a great story.
Also, this is bullshit. This is there's apps you can use that will fake text messages. You can just type in what somebody else is typing to you, and that's what this is. This is not real. I 100% think that this is not real. But this is what Chester Hanks is claiming. Apparently, the use that Thomas Wayne Hanks has for his son is translating terrible rap beefs for him. Or again, he made the whole thing up to pretend his father texts him, which is more likely. When he posted the following screenshots to Instagram, his conversation with somebody he refers to as Pops, that he would like us to believe is Thomas Hanks. Apparently, Pops texted him and said, and again, this is very not Tom Hanks-like, "Big Maine, can you explain the Drake/Kendrick Lamar feud to me?" This didn't happen.
No way.
This didn't happen, Chet, you fucking liar. Tom Hanks, prove us wrong. Come on this show and say you did do this. Otherwise, this didn't happen. Anyway, Chet responded, yeah, so Drake and this other dude, J. Cole, have been saying that they, along with Kendrick, are the big three in rap. Then Kendrick put out a song saying, fuck the big three, it's just me, initiating the beef. Then Drake was like, you got small feet because you're like 5'5" or whatever. And Kendrick was like, you're a deadbeat dad, and made fun of his Canadian accent. So Drake came back and was like, oh yeah? Well, I heard you beat your wife. But literally like 30 seconds later, Kendrick put out a diss overshadowing Drake's diss, where he pretty much methodically dismantled Drake's entire psyche and called him a pedophile for flirting with young girls, and revealed that Drake had another kid that he was hiding from the world, which turned out to be false. And Drake came back and was like, haha, I got you, ass, and people give you false info and make you look stupid, but it didn't even matter because Kendrick just dropped another West Coast banger where he really went in on labeling Drake a pedophile. That was pretty much the sonic equivalent of when you took me to your high school in Oakland and we walked in on the basketball game and everyone just started going nuts. Like, if you had heard it, you would just automatically know how to crip walk with a stank face while clutching an Oscar in each hand with Marshawn Lynch, then dap him up and tell him town business, which solidified the win not only for Kendrick, but the entire West Coast. To which Tom Hanks allegedly replied, holy cow, these are fighting words. To people taking sides, who's winning? To which Chet replied, did you not read what I just said?
Well, it was gibberish, so.
But think about this. Can you imagine writing any of that to Tom goddamn Hanks? Or can you imagine Tom goddamn Hanks referring to Chet as a big Maine?
Yeah, that part's not true.
If he has a big Maine, it's clearly the lovely Rita Wilson, or failing her, his brother Jim, who pretends to be Tom in some stellar voiceover work. And if you had to pick a child, it would definitely be Colin.
Yeah, that's amazing. God. Now, I will say replying, holy cow, does sound like Tom Hanks quite a bit.
I disagree. I think the only response would be, that was a test and you have failed your very last chance, Chet. No more. No more.
That's fantastic. I picture him like talking with Rita and be like, I keep hearing about this beef. Rita, you know anything about this beef? And she's like, you know who would know? And he's like, yeah.
I like to think Rita is badgering him, just like, you never talk to your son. He's out there embarrassing the shit out of us. Maybe if you had been a strong father figure, he wouldn't. And then they immediately Googled, they said, what would Chet be interested in? And what was his
olive branch?
Yeah, Big Maine. Can you explain the Drake/Kendrick Lamar feud to me? But this didn't happen. This is something that Chet wrote to himself to pretend that he has a relationship with his father, which is sad.
Yeah.
But also stop it.
I love the idea that he's had the text written for like 40 minutes and he's just like, I know I'm going to regret this, and sends it like, and then he gets back the whole like crip walk.
And it was so Marshawn. Fast. It was within he's been sitting there as he does every day, staring at his cell phone, waiting for his dad to text. And finally he's like, holy shit, I know this one.
Oh man, it's not about how I'm an embarrassment. This is great. But it must be my birthday.
It is, though. It is about that. Garrett, what other Tom Hanks news do you have for us? It could also be Kendrick Lamar or Drake news.
I don't have any of that. Instead, I have in Get 'em While They're Still Available news, Tim, multiple eyewear retailers, including the largest in America, America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses, trademark, has halted sales of P. Diddy's Sean John branded frames. Stores received a message Tuesday to remove all Sean John frames from the stores and replace them with literally anything else. While the company wouldn't reveal the precise reason reason for the move. It's clearly all tied to the public reaction following the raid on Diddy's homes, and then followed by the video of Diddy beating his former girlfriend and/or wife Cassie in the hallway of a hotel.
For our younger listeners, don't Google that last thing.
No, don't. It's
upsetting.
Horrible. Yeah, no, he's a real bad guy that's going to go to jail for a real long time.
Yes.
And make no money on eyewear. Tim, what other Diddy news do you have?
Well, Garrett, I don't have Diddy news. I have sad Drake news. And that is because, Garrett, this past week, Millie Bobby Brown got married to Bon John Voji's son, Jake Von Joby.
Everyone thinks it's a bit, but he really can't say it. It's fucking great.
I got Millie Bobby Brown for the first time, though.
Yeah,
so
that's
congrats
impressive.
to the happy couple. Condolences to Drake, who, as Kendrick Lamar would allegedly allege, put in a lot of work on the front end of that one. Ugh.
God.
Yeah, I know, Garrett. It's not my words. But they, of course, got married in secret to evade Drake Aubrey. But the timing does seem suspect, right? Like, he drops her name in a song about how he wasn't a pedophile, and she's like, listen, I'm married. I can't. No, I
can't do this.
I think she heard that and was really creeped out and needed to send him a very public message that she doesn't have to communicate herself. The news will do for her. That she would not be his.
I can't imagine, you know how difficult it has to be to have a completely private wedding just so you don't have to deal with why you didn't invite Drake?
Yes,
You're
yes,
like,
I
you know
do.
what? You won't invite
I know
anybody.
exactly what that's
interesting.
like. It's why you weren't at my wedding, Garrett.
Still hurt by that, by the way.
That's fair.
Interesting.
But again, she might have heard about the Drake thing from this show, so we might have played a role in both of their happiness.
So her name is Millie Bobby Brown Bon Jovi?
I'm not sure about that final last name, but yes.
I mean, it might be worse. Millie Bobby Bon Jovi.
Millie Bobby Brown, if you did not take his name, you're an idiot.
Yeah. It sounds like a made-up name for like a bowling score. Millie Bobby Brown Bon Jovi.
He's a model, too. Did you know that?
What, his son?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It might surprise you to learn. I don't know anything about Bon Jovi's child. Not a thing.
Interesting.
Not a thing.
I will target my news in the future. That's technically music related. I'm going to do a lot of
You already do.
Nope. That guy. You know who I'm talking about. Garrett, what other news do you have? And feel free to mispronounce.
Let's see here. I've got a lot of really weird news this week. Oh, let's go with some fun news. Tim, do you remember that Wu-Tang album?
Yes.
That Martin Shkreli bought, and then I think that was seized later by the government or something?
I accidentally bought a fake album with show funds. Thought I was going to be the only owner. Turns out I own nothing.
In any event,
I own less Bitcoin, I should say.
Well, Tim, there is a single CD copy that does exist, and the record by the pioneering hip-hop group is the most expensive ever sold, and has now been loaned to Tasmania's Museum of Old and New Art, or MONA. Over 10 days in June, MONA will host small listening parties where members of the public can hear a curated 30-minute sample of the album. The actual album includes a hand-carved nickel box and a leather-bound manuscript containing lyrics and a certificate of authenticity and a legal condition. This is all done with... Now, sorry, the owner of this, who I do not know who owns it, they cannot release the full 31 tracks for an arbitrary 88 years. But this is your best chance to hear this secret album.
Weird. I bet this pisses that little shit off quite a bit.
Anything that does makes me happy. God, I hate that dude.
Yeah.
He's a bad man. Tim, what other news do you have about mystery albums?
Well, Garrett, in mystery album news, somebody tried to steal Graceland.
Oh, this is so weird.
Yeah. Well, allegedly. So apparently, Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's daughter, got a $3.8 million loan from a company called Nosany Investments in Private Lending and failed to pay it back prior to her death. And apparently, she used Graceland as collateral for the loan. This company had Graceland a single day away from auction when Riley Keough, who you may know as one of Immortan Joe's wives from Fury Road, but is also Elvis's granddaughter and briefly the stepdaughter of both Michael Jackson and Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird life she's had, and is the sole owner of Graceland currently, filed a lawsuit because no loan was made to Lisa Marie. The notarized note had a forged signature from her. The notarization was was forged, and CNN and NBC both could find no business in the United States or on the non-dark web by the name of Nosany Investments or whatever. So when they went to court, nobody showed up from the company, but there was a definitely fake company statement released which said, due to the deed of trust not being recorded and the loan being obtained in different states, legal action would have to be filed in multiple states and Nosany Investments and Private Lending will not acquire to proceed. Now, if that sounds like something that was written by a non-native English speaker and definitely not a legitimate lawyer, I agree.
Yeah.
But somebody tried to just scam their way into claiming they own Graceland and then sell it despite not owning it, which is pretty ballsy. And as somebody who's
they got so close.
Yeah. This lady had to file in court saying, like, none of that's true. Like, they just assumed it was true because who would make that up? And, I mean, as somebody who has been repeatedly caught in scams and had to weasel my way out, well done.
Yeah. I mean, the idea, though, that anybody who is related to Elvis is short on cash, like, what are you talking about?
Yes, it's one of the biggest tourist attractions, just the house itself, in the country.
Yeah, the idea that they just suddenly, God, I love it, though. The balls to just be like, yeah, we own this. We are going to sell it.
Yes.
What? Okay. I mean, because who would make that up?
Right.
God, imagine being, what's her name? Riley Keough, and just being like, wait, what? Like, it sounds crazy to you and me, but like, that's hers.
Well, but there's also the thing, like, where she's just got to be like, is this true? Do I owe these people $3.8 million to make this go away?
Because I can write a check.
Yeah, maybe that was
I'd rather not. I mean, it's clearly a scam, though. Like,
yes.
It's fascinating. Somebody's probably going to be brought up on charges.
No, Garrett, none of these people are in the U.S. Come on.
That's true. Good stuff.
Anyway, what other heist news do you have?
Ooh, heist news. No heist news, but I have Black Keys news.
That's heist related. Go on.
Interesting. The Black Keys, Tim, have canceled their entire upcoming North American leg of their International Players Tour as of Friday when we recorded this episode.
Did you see the seating charts?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Dude. So fans began to notice that their Ticketmaster listing for the International Players Tour, as it was called, at various arena shows all over this great nation of ours were set to begin September 17th in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and run through November 12th, ending in Detroit. However, fans began to notice all of those listings disappearing before all of them eventually did. When people started to ask, hey, what's going on? The band reached out and said that the entire tour had in fact been scrapped. Now let's pause on the story part and do a little editorializing. As Tim pointed out, several news sites have been more than willing to share screenshots from social media showing that literally nobody is coming to see the Black Keys in an arena in 2024. Nobody.
It's not like the Attack and Release tour, Carrot.
Right.
Or Brothers, or El Camino.
El Camino. All of those could have supported an arena tour. Maybe not Attack and Release. I think they were still doing clubs when that came out. But still.
Yeah, but they were, I mean, I would have
still
rather
better
seen
than this.
them.
Well, Tim, you bring a good point, because upon the release of their most recent album, Ohio Players, it was by far the band's least successful commercial album to date. When it was released in April, the album debuted at still a shocking number 26 on the Billboard 200. However, for comparison, their previous album, 2022's Dropout Boogie, which is a better album but also incredibly unpopular with everybody, that one at least debuted at number 8, and that was 2 years ago. I don't know who in their right mind told these poor bastards that everybody still liked them, but their time is long gone. Like 7-8 years gone.
Yeah, which is really a shame because, you know, the problem is that son of a bitch Dan Auerbach shaved his fucking beard. They were terrible after that.
It didn't go great. I've seen them a number of times, always enjoyed it. Have not really enjoyed a single one of their albums in the last 5 to 7 years. I think the pandemic ate their last arena tour.
Yeah, and really Danger Mouse.
Yeah,
Brian
the Danger
Burton.
Mouseification.
Yeah.
Well, in an effort to try to cover up the incredible public embarrassment that this has all caused, they released a second statement saying that the North American tour was scrapped, quote, in order to make it more like the smaller European gigs that they had recently had supporting the new album, which is all, total nonsense. Nobody ever says, you know what, let's cancel that entire tour that we already launched watched and spent, I would guess, $500,000 it probably takes just to set up a tour of that size.
Probably.
Let's rip it down so that we can make less money.
Yeah. See, what they should do is market themselves as like, you know how Jack White stopped being in the White Stripes and now everything is overly complicated with him? We're just going to be two guys playing blues rock. Fuck off.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, their most recent album, I don't know if I made it all the way through, but like it's definitely more of a return to their roots. But just people don't care anymore, dude.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
You're basically Hot Action Cop.
No, maybe.
No,
do this.
they're not.
Okay, take inspiration from this music video and get weird with it. I'm back in.
They already have great music videos. Anyway, Tim, any other news?
Let's see. Sublime is making new music again.
Yeah, they are. I haven't heard it yet, have you?
Yeah, it's gross. Limp Bizkit and Corey Feldman are touring together.
I almost want to go.
Nicki Minaj was in Dutch jail. Diddy
Yeah, she
has
was.
an adolescent penis. Nah, I'm good.
What's that last thing?
I don't know, man.
Adolescent penis.
Do you have any more news? It can be penis news.
It's not. Let's see. You covered a lot there. Let's see. Do I have anything else?
Oh, I was just telling you the stories I'm not bothering to say, you know?
I mean, but you said them, though.
Yeah.
Oh, did you read Doug Engel died?
I don't know who Doug Engel is.
That's all right. Doug Engel, who co-founded the rock band Iron Butterfly and was the singer and organist on songs including their signature hit In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, died Friday at age 78. He was the last surviving member of the classic lineup. Most of Iron Butterfly's success, of course, came with the 17-minute FM radio smash In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Now, Tim, in 1968, a sophomore album named after that hit single then spent 81 weeks in the top 10 in the US.
That is the best-selling album of a year.
Yeah, it's wild. It was the best-selling album for all of Atlantic Records history for several years and was certified quadruple platinum.
Yeah, we both own a copy of it.
We do, and we don't ever listen to it.
I'm going to listen to it today in that man's honor, whose name I've already forgotten.
Doug Engel.
Doug Engel.
21 Pilots are coming out with a new album. That's exciting. It's called Clancy. It's about the...
It's about an imaginary friend. That's what Clancy is.
Okay, wow, I'm so unnerved by your reaction. The band said, quote, Blurryface is kind of a bad guy. He's the antagonist. They've been at it for a while, and we're going to have the final battle here on Clancy.
We should definitely do this and talk about Jolliver some more.
Yeah, and maybe Blurryface, and definitely Clancy. I think that's going to do it for us this week, though. I don't think we can announce next week's album because we don't know it.
Well, it's probably going to be that Inside Me. Inside of you. I want to be inside of you Christian bands. The Jesus is the person speaking.
Insiders.
Within oneself physically.
We're saying the same thing. Okay, that's going to do it for us this week, folks. What a weird, gross episode in an entirely new way than any other way we've ever done it, but both equally as weird and gross. As always, rate, review, subscribe, follow, whatever you can do to let other people know you like this will help us, and we'd like you to do that. You can find us on Instagram, that's HatePod, Twitter's Album HatePod, I'm G Harvey Tweets. We're on Threads, that's also HatePod. We've got Discord servers, we've got subreddits, we're on the internet, okay? You can find us. You found us here, we're on YouTube, we're on all of it. So just, find the feed or whatever. But for this week, for all weeks, for next week even, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy B. Richardson, and the mustache portion of Garrett B. Harvey's beard is fake.
But fake is the wrong word. Augmented.
It's a weave.
It's a medical prosthesis.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed, it's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.